All right, what's up, Wolfpack? This is the first recorded exercise of the day. I feel like I've been, been struggling to articulate well today. Not really sure why, but I'm not gonna have it stop me. Still gotta get my lift in. Still gotta talk to you guys. Go over what's going on right now. Anyways, I'm gonna get this warm-up set out of the way, and then we'll get into the first failure set. We're doing leg curls, if I haven't said already. We got 80 pounds for warm-up weight, just however many I feel like. All right. That should be good. We'll go. I think last time I did 190, so I'm gonna go back to 190. I could be wrong though. I'm gonna be real. Today's I really need to find the timing on Tuesdays. Like today is a lot of people. The only reason I really go late is in hopes that there won't be a whole lot of people here. And it's not really, doesn't seem like it really worked out today, but that's okay. We're still gonna get what I can done. Hopefully I'm able to record 3 exercises. Probably gonna be the same exercises I record as usual. But we'll see. I was actually gonna wait to do leg curl. Wasn't really trying to do this. But out of all the exercises that I want to do today, it was the only one that was open. So I was like, all right, we'll just tank it now. And, worst comes to worst, my hamstrings aren't going to feel great. But that's never really been a big issue for me. So, maybe I'm just didn't want to hit legs. Maybe I'm being lazy. But, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was thinking about this earlier, but I really kind of want to lean down. Like I've never really I've said that I've bulked and cut to a bunch of my friends, and I act like I do it, but I really don't. I'm not sure how much I've talked about this on the YouTube channel, but I have a really shit diet. I don't really track my calories. I don't track none of it. I really just eat whatever. Which, people will be like, oh, you really got to do that. You could be overeating. I really just eat the same meal every single day. It's very, very unlikely that I eat anything different. Usually what my day consists of is no breakfast, a cheeseburger and fries for lunch, and then 4 or 6 slices of pizza. Maybe not, like I said, not the greatest diet in terms of, nutrients, but, I like the food. So I've never really stopped myself. I'm also, I'll admit it, I'm kind of a picky eater. I'm not a big vegetable person, just not really a big, big eater outside of what I normally eat. But with that being said, I don't know how much I've also talked about this, but last time I went to Texas Roadhouse with my mom, I got a 16-ounce sirloin, and that would hit my protein goal that I used to have at one point. So I'm wondering, should I just get a week's worth of steaks from Texas Roadhouse and just make that? And then I can hit my protein goal. But my protein intake is awful compared to what I should. So let me preface this. My protein goal back when I was trying to actually cut to 175ish. Right now I actually don't know how much I weigh right now. I'll maybe give an update either at the end of this video or sometime in this video or absolute latest next video. But I want to say I'm around like 190-ish. And the protein or goal that I had was for me to get down to 175. And I think I had 112 grams of protein as my daily goal. I'd probably get like 50 grams of protein the entire day. You know, a lot of people would be like, oh, come on, man. you got to get your protein in. And, you know, to that I say, a lot of the protein stuff, like protein bars, just taste like shit. Like, you know, David bars, I bought those like a little while back. I can't even finish a David bar. They really greasy, at least the ones I got, you know. If David wants to reach out and be like, oh, you should maybe try this instead. I had like their cookies and cream one and like some peanut butter one. And like they were greasy. I took a bite. I was like, okay. But the aftertaste was awful. And I was like, it was hurting me to eat the thing. It's not the worst thing I've tasted in the world, because I'll be real that I'll tell you guys the worst thing I've ever tasted. There's a chunky bar is what I believe it's called. It's a chocolate bar with like raisins in it. It was the worst thing that me and Brody ever tasted. I can't say for Brody, but for me, it was the worst thing I've ever tasted. And it's probably the only chocolate bar I've never been able to finish. So that takes the cake for worst thing I've ever eaten. But going back to David bars, really just wasn't a big fan of them. I have found, was it Lenny and Larry's cookies, I think is what it is. Those I actually can tolerate. I don't mind them. You know, I've heard some mixed reception on them, and I've heard from my friends, I should say, mixed reception from my friends about, you know, the protein in them, because it's like 440 calories for one cookie with only like 16 grams of protein. So yeah, it's not like you know, going crazy good with the nutrients, but you know, it's better than me not hitting my protein goal, or not eating and being much further away from my protein goal. But I'll be real, I haven't eaten those in a little bit. I feel like I'm going on a tangent right now, but I'm gonna keep going on it. But yeah, my diet is awful, but you know, maybe, you know, considering I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing right now for the whole month if I didn't have the camera here. And maybe I'll record, you know, like a 3-month cut period, and then I'll be fucking, I don't know, 15% body fat. 'Cause right now I don't know my exact body fat. I have a feeling I'm around like 26%, you know, give or take like a couple percentage. But you know, if I got down to like 15%, I feel like I'd look pretty good. So I'm considering it. Maybe I'll do it. It'll be much longer than this month that I'm doing these 2 sets to failure, which I actually am going to go to the next set because I'm talking a little long now. But yeah, if you guys want to see that, or if you guys have stuff that you want me to discuss, like I said in the last video, you know, comment some stuff that you'd want me to talk about, you want to hear me talk on, and comment if you'd want to see me lean down for at least 3 months, you know, maybe more. Maybe I'll stick with the lean, you know, not really bulk. But I don't know. You know, at the end of the day, I don't think I would be as far in my fitness journey, or I wouldn't be willing to go this far into the fitness journey if I wasn't recording this. So, you know, like I said, let me know. Anyways, I'm gonna get this first set done. 190 on the machine. If we get more than 10, we'll go up in weight. If not, we're sticking with this for the last set, and we'll see how it goes. All right. I think I got like 7.5 there. I don't really count that last rep. You know, if you do, then maybe I got 8 there. But I don't think I got a full range of motion. Whew. Out of all the leg exercises, these are probably the most painful for me. Not like I'm injuring myself kind of pain, just like, you know, you really feel it especially when you get under these heavy loads. Like even in my warm-up set, I could still feel a great amount, you know. To be fair though, I am going a lot longer under tension when I'm in my when I'm doing my warm-up, which, you know, that could affect it. But by far, just the leg curl in general, it's probably the most painful for me, especially like while I'm lifting. Like afterwards, I would say give it like 10 minutes, and I don't really feel the my hamstrings burning. But you know, while I'm on here, I can feel it a lot. I'll be real. I don't know what to talk. Actually, I could talk about my body health. So, sorry if this is a repetitive talking point that you guys don't want to hear. You know, I don't know how many people watch this outside of my mom. You know, if you're cool, you know, maybe say something in the comments. But in terms of body health, everything still feels fine. Nothing similar to everything. Nothing really changed. You know, maybe instead of me just giving a everyday update, maybe I'll just give an update when something changes. Maybe I'll just talk when something feels fatigued or I injured myself. I don't think I'll injure myself during this. Was this day 19? So yeah, I mean, I only got 11 days after this. Don't think I'm gonna injure myself in 11 days. Especially considering I'm kind of cautious. Like you guys have seen me with mainly my arms. Like my arms are are dying, I guess. But like my biceps, I took it light once I started to feel that weird feeling in my bicep, triceps. It was more like an elbow thing for when I was doing my triceps, but you know, still kept it safe just in case. You know, maybe. And I also could just be overreacting, you know, for those. Maybe I'm not. I'm just not pushing myself hard enough, and that was like signs of me pushing myself, and I just didn't go further. But you know, I'd rather be safe than be injured. And at the end of the day, I'm still pushing myself harder than I did compared to if I didn't do this. Now I need to think of more stuff to talk about. Shit. I guess I'll go back into the content stuff. I mean, I said this already, but yeah, please, you know, comment stuff that you'd like for me to talk about. I'm not the, you know, I'm really running out of stuff that I could think of that I haven't already gone over, or it'd be kind of repetitive if I went over it again. You know, if you guys want, like, I don't know, fitness advice, I don't know how great I'd be at that, you know, considering I don't think I'm the most optimal person in the world. You know, I'd say I do some things optimally. Like, I think, you know, if you were to go to any, like, average science-based lifter guy in that community, they would be like, oh, this guy is just fatigue maxing. I feel like I'd hear that. But, you know, I'd say I'm not like, I'd say I'm in the middle when it comes to like bro lifting, where it's a lot more like, you know, high volume, high intensity, bro split, or I push pull legs. But I'm also like, you know, I'm not the guy who's using fucking a mouthpiece, Bluetooth handle. Like, I'm not doing all that. You know, maybe I will. Maybe I'll try that, but yeah, for the time being, I'm not going into that. Maybe I'd get a Bluetooth handle. I don't know about the mouthpiece. Mouthpiece seems a little much in my opinion. But maybe I would get a Bluetooth handle for like, I don't know. Let's say I got like a lat raise machine that I kind of just do one of these, get a Bluetooth handle, get that mind muscle connection. But I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here. Now, if you guys want to hear some of my fitness stuff, political stuff, I've said this. I don't really like to get too much into politics, considering I don't think I'm the most knowledgeable in politics. But I'm more than willing to talk about it if I do know something about it. I don't know, gaming stuff. I mean, I'm not the biggest gamer that I used to be a relatively frequent gamer. I mean, I still game a decent amount. Like, I'm not saying I don't game at all, but like compared to me 2-ish years ago, it's a lot less. And I think it's a mix of just, I don't got no one to play with. All my homies are, living the college experience while I'm just in my dorm with my mid roommate. Oh, if you guys, I know every once in a while, some people who aren't my professor will watch the reading response videos for my class. As I was recording that, I was low-key procrastinating it. I was hoping that my roommate would see the camera on my desk turned on with me with my mic on, hoping that he would recognize it and kind of be like, okay, maybe I don't want to be in here. And I think I waited for like 30 minutes and he didn't do a thing. So I was like, all right, he probably noticed it. This is probably my fault, considering I wasn't really confrontational. But I remember I waited the 30 minutes. I was like, okay. I mean, I doubt he hasn't seen it, and he hasn't moved an inch. So I was like, all right, I'll just record it. So I recorded it instantly. Guy hears me talk, looks up at the camera, runs out of frame. It's funny. It was really funny. Like I was looking at the camera pretty much the entire assignment, and I saw that happen, and I was kind of trying to hold back a laugh. It wasn't like I was gonna die of laughter, but like I was just holding it back because I was like, feels good. But I could understand him, getting off camera. It's not like everybody likes to be on camera. There's a reason why, some YouTubers go faceless, because, they don't really like the idea of a camera. And I'm not gonna hold that. Maybe he's someone who's a little bit more like that. But when it comes to me, I'm very open to how I look. Like I could really, I could care less about you filming me. Maybe, like if I'm at like a funeral and I'm mourning like a family member, maybe don't record me then. That's a little weird. But like if it's just me in my everyday situation, I could really care less. I mean, it's not like I'm so focused on my looks that I'm like combing my hair. I don't even comb my hair. I wet it. I take a shower and I end up like this. Call it good. The only time I'm really worried about my hair is when I got my headphones on and then I have a headset dent, because then it's rough. I look a little ugly, or well, more ugly. I'm not saying that I'm the hottest person in the room, but it doesn't help. Anyways, I'm kind of going on a unimportant rant, so I'm gonna get this last set out of the way, and hopefully another one of the exercises I need to do opens up. Because we didn't do 10, we still got 190 on the machine. We'll do this. I'll be shocked if I get more than 10, but if I do get more than 10, we'll go up and weight next time I record this, and we'll go from there. All right. No. All right. Yeah, I don't think anybody would count that last rep I just did right there. So I think I got like 7 or 8 there. That's it for this. I'll turn back on the camera when I got the next exercise ready. All right, what's up, Wolfpack? We got bicep curls. I'm back on the old cable that I used to work on, where you guys actually wouldn't see this. Today, a lot of people are on the cable, so I almost had to do free weights. Wasn't gonna be too happy, considering I'm trying to keep the weight, the exercise is relatively the same, but we're good. It's not like I'm doing free weights right now. I mean, I am doing cable curl. You guys, don't worry. Still the same. I got lucky. I was doing some tricep push down right over there. You guys can't see it, but got one right over there, and then this opened up, so I instantly stole it, like the thief that I am. Anyways, I'm gonna get this first set out of the way, and hopefully I got stuff to talk about. Sorry if the camera angle sucks, by the way. There's a reason that I don't really like to record on this one. All right. Oh, I forgot to say I got 20 for the warm-up set. Do however many I feel like. Okay, should be good for now. We'll go 50 pounds, actually 57.5 pounds for now. I don't know how I feel. I mean, although the camera angle is much worse on here, I definitely prefer the resistance on this one compared to the ones that I normally film on. Like, with the ones that I normally do, I think it's a lot more, or it feels a lot more realistic to like a regular dumbbell, where it's really, really hard on like the up from here, like all the way down to about midway through the range of motion, and then it's a little lighter. It's not like 1-to-1 like a regular free weight dumbbell, but usually it feels a lot lighter compared to the bottom half on that. But this one, it's a constant tension throughout, and I definitely prefer that over, I mean, maybe this is just me, having some placebo. It's very likely that it could be the case. Because I'm pretty sure this is a similar cable to the one up there. So, maybe I'm just, lying to myself. But I definitely do prefer this, even though I'm not a big fan of, I feel like I'm dominating you guys right now. I'm not a big fan of this. But, we gotta make do, because I only got an hour left before this place closes down for tonight, not forever. Going back to what I recorded earlier, which I'm gonna be real, this is a little side topic, but this is probably gonna be the last recorded exercise. I don't know how likely it is that I'm gonna get a third exercise with a good camera angle like this. To be fair, all I do have is arms, and then one, or my leg extension or leg press, depending on what's open. But I might have to skip that today. I don't know. Hopefully not. I would like to get the full workout in, considering I had a good chunk of the day, and I could have really went any other time. But I was trying to avoid the crowd. Didn't do a good job. Maybe I'll do a morning lift. I don't have my first class till 11. Maybe I'll do a morning lift. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. because of my roommate's alarm. Have some like David Goggins motivation or whatever, and then do 3 hours of cardio. I would never do that, but maybe I'll do a morning lift. Next Tuesday. Maybe you'll see a video out by like 1. Probably because, if I do one, Yeah, it'll probably be after 12. Or, you know what, I'm not really going to say because I don't really know the timing, how that'd be. I would need to lock down on that. Back to the content thing though. Let me know if you guys want me to lean down, for a little series where I just lean down. Maybe I'll go over my meals for the day. You guys will see the workout as per usual. Also, you guys will get to see some golf content soon. I've talked about this a little bit, I know. But, big golfer. Might be the worst golfer I know, but I am a big golfer. Got a bunch of used clubs that I love. Actually, fun fact, I had a Ping 7 iron. I think it was a G25. I think that's what it was. I could be wrong. I lost it one day out at a golf course, and it was by far my best club. Like, purest thing I ever hit. Couldn't be happier with the club, and then I lost it one day. It's been very sad, but luckily the Cobras that I have right now, they make up for it a little bit. I did get most of the set of Cobra irons. I think the only things I don't have are like woods, a hybrid, and like a sand wedge. But like, I'm locked down everywhere else. Like, I think I have 3 drivers, which, one of them, is like a mini driver. I got my Big Bertha, probably my most expensive club. And then I got a left-handed driver, which I can't really swing well left-handed. But, I make it work if I need to. But, yeah, come around summertime, expect some golf content with the homies. It might be a struggle if I have a little foursome going on, but I'll see what I could do. Not gonna say no to golfing. Anyways, I'm gonna get this first failure set out of the way. 57.5 pounds on the cable. If we get more than 10, we'll go up in weight. If not, we're sticking with this as per usual, and we'll see how we do. Hit my nose. I'm gonna end it off there for the first set. I think I maybe could have gotten a couple more reps in, but I'm feeling lazy, I'll be real. I was gonna make up an excuse there, but I think it'd be better if I just own up. Oh, one thing I've been wondering is, I'm wondering if my bench press form, mainly my like hands, but I feel like my bench press form's a little off. Like, I've been seeing a lot of stuff saying that your wrist should be like parallel with your arm could kind of be like this, but in a more of a bench formation, where usually I have my arm like this, so it kind of allows the bar to lay on it. But I've heard that's actually bad. Maybe that's from me, working on the Smith machines at Planet Fitness for the longest time. Or maybe, it's just a bad habit. But if you guys, know a little more than me about the form side of things, I guess, let me know. Like I said, I'm very open to advice. Any advice really. Whether it's content-wise, whether it's lifting-wise, whether it's life-wise, more than open. I'm very much an open-minded person. I think you should be an open-minded person. If a lot of the political divide we actually have now, I would say, is just because people aren't open enough, which, inherently, some of the stuff you will hear is wrong. I'm not saying that everything you hear is right, and you should be open to it if it is wrong. But you know, your ideas can be flawed. You know, obviously I don't know your ideas, I don't know your beliefs to the people watching. But you know, there's a very good chance that some idea you have of how things should work and how you do things isn't like 100%, isn't perfect. So I think, especially politics-wise, I think a lot of people, you know, aren't really willing to open up and consider the side of someone who has a different view. You know, a lot of the reasons I stay independent is because I don't think either side, left or right, really, you know, has it 100%. I think both of them have great ideas, but they also have some really shit ideas. Like, you know, I can't really think of any off the top of my head of shit ideas. I also can't think of great ideas. You know, I'd say this goes back to me just not knowing a whole lot about politics in general, which maybe you could say that's the reason I'm independent. And, you know, I would say you're not 100% wrong. But, you know, I bet you if you brought up both conservative or democratic ideas, there's, I would say, probably a like a 50-50 chance whether I'd say yes or no. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't think that you know, does me justice here. I would say both sides I would agree with. I've talked about me taking a political test in the past. I do land in moderate. I do lean left, so, you know, maybe I'll be a little bit more open to democratic ideas than conservative. But, you know, I'm not saying all conservative ideas are idiotic. And, you know, at the end of the day, you could have the opinion you want. I'm going to stick to mine until I have, you know, evidence that my stuff's wrong. But, you know, like I said, keep an open mind. You know, outside of politics, you know, if you guys don't know, I'm not the most religious person in the world, I think. The only one I've really kind of looked somewhat into is Christianity. I've never really considered any of the other ones in terms of me following them. But, you know, not a big fan of Christianity. I think some of the ideas that I think allow you to have a good life kind of go against, you know, the teachings of the church and all that. And plus, I've seen some stuff in the Bible that I'm not a big fan of. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I feel like I'm going to go on for a little longer than I want to, at least. But yeah, not the most religious, but I am open to the ideas. And usually if I hear someone talk from a religious standpoint where, like, I don't know, they go over like whatever they go over the 10 Commandments, usually I try to put myself into someone who, like, kind of follows those. But, you know, overall key idea there, just be more open, you know. Doesn't hurt to at least hear other people out, even if you don't think they're the most qualified. You know, well, you could talk about how, like, everybody hated on Albert Einstein as a kid, and then it turned out he was smart. I don't know how great of an example that was. I feel like I always give, like, a shitty example in the middle of the videos, but, you know, it's all right. You know, I'm working on it. Anyways, I'm gonna get this last set out. We'll go for it, and then this is probably gonna be the last recorded set, and I'll do my stuff afterwards. All right. Still 57.5 pounds. If we get 10, we will do more tomorrow. Maybe not, depending on which cable I do, because I will admit this one does feel a little harder than the one that I do up there, which, you know, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I'm not 100% sure, but that's besides the point. So we'll see. but I'm gonna try and get 10 reps here. Okay, I'm gonna end it off there. Yeah, that's the end of the video. Like and subscribe if you want to. If you want to follow me on other stuff, there'll be a link tree in the description. Do your laundry, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.